Hey guys, hello. So, welcome back to my channel. And today's topic is retry until mechanism, that is present in karate. So, we will be going through this topic and we'll see that how can we use this in our karate automation and in which scenarios it can come useful, right? So retry until it something means karate has a built-in support for retrying an HTTP request until a specific condition in the response is met, right? I'll show you with an example here, and then you can better understand and then better visualize that how you can use this thing if such situation comes in your project automation, right? So let's start that thing. So we will have this feature name and scenario which right, and we have a dummy API that is available for practice we will be using, and using that we will try to understand this thing in karate. So we have a regress API. Okay. There's a post request, and for this we'll have this body. We'll have a response code of 201, and we will see the response of this request. Okay, so for now you can see the response. In the response it is coming the name that I am giving you in the past in the payload, and the job and the ID is created something like this, right? So suppose in a scenario we have a scenario that we did some action, right, in some database, and based on that when I am hitting some API, it is actually listening to the change in the database, and then correspondingly it is giving us updated response, right? Now, suppose in the scenario if there is a record with this thing, right, in the database, and if I in the database I change this job from leader to an a worker or some manager, right? Then I should be expecting the job to be a manager if I hit a get request, right? So in that scenario, we can have you can use this retry mechanism to keep hitting that API get request until I get the job as a manager. Means it why I retry things can be used here. I'll, let's first leave that example. Suppose in the post request only, if I want to have some condition that if I'm passing a job here the leader, in the request also I should get the job as a leader only. So I can put a retry mechanism here, retry and response dot name is equal to request body dot name, right? So this is not a perfect example but a demo that how that retry until thing can be used in a karate script. Although I'm hitting an API the post request and I'm getting the job the name as a morphos in the same thing, no, morphos only. But suppose in a scenario there is some delay in the response. I mean, suppose in there's some processing going on. I'm keeping hitting this API. I'm not getting the name as a morphos here. It takes some time. Then in that situation, I can use this retry until thing to keep hitting that HTTP request until I get the required response that I the desired response body, right? So suppose I'll just simply run this script. It will perfectly pass here because whatever the name I am passing, the same thing I am getting this thing in the body. Suppose if I pass it here like John, so what it will do, this retry until things has a predefined attempts, right? So it will keep hitting 3 times this request until the this condition is satisfied. And what interval it will be hitting, it is defined as a 3 seconds. For an interval of 3 seconds it will keep hitting this request for 3 times and with an interval of 3 seconds until and unless this condition is met, and finally it will fail the request that the retry attempts are done and the condition is not met. So this request is failed. So I am intentionally giving a wrong name, means a different name here, so that I can see its attempts and the result. So you can actually see it here. Too many retry attempts. So by default, the maximum number of attempts set in karate is 3, and then in the interval of 3 seconds. So you can actually override that thing. But let's see a karate thing here, report here. See, so 9 seconds. So at an interval of its keep hitting that API, so sleeping before retry 2, so the second retry, and this is the third retry, and it's not able to find the condition that we have given for the response. Similar, so that's fine. So we can actually override this number in our karate config. First thing, I think currently we don't have this karate config. So in the thing, we can actually override this thing. So using this configuration, so this is the configuration with which you can actually override the default values set for the retry things. So you can set it to the count of 5 here, an interval you can set it with 5 seconds, 2 seconds, or 1 second. You can override that things. So it actually comes in so this is not the perfect example, I can understand it, but in project automation you can such situations come that I'll share my experience that how I had I came to know about these things, and it came handy in my validations in my project automations. So suppose in that thing I was there's a record in the database, and I used to modify that record. And what was that change was getting published into a Kafka topic, and my service used to listen that Kafka topic, and accordingly it used to reflect that change in the record in its own data store. And I used to hit that service, and I was expecting that change in that in my service. So in that situation, that things came handy because the whole process used to take some time. Just suppose I edited some record in the database, and that change was got published into the Kafka, and my service used to listen that change, and then it's used to make those changes in its own record. And I used to have a get request, and I was expecting that that updated record, right? So in that process it's not the change was not reflecting immediately. So suppose I had to wait for certain times, that specific time, that okay, if I hit a get request, and then I'll get the updated record. So in that situation, to make our my script dynamic, I don't want to give a hard code value that's wait for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 30 seconds, because that reflected change can happen in a 2 seconds, 5 seconds, or 3 seconds. In that situations, I had used this retry until thing, that dynamically the moment my desired expectations, my expected result is met, I should complete my script. My script should be complete and passed without waiting any extra seconds if in case I have given a hard-coded value. So that situations this thing built-in support in the karate had come into use, and then I thought that I should share this knowledge with you, and if because such situation might happen in your project also, and in that situations you can use this thing. So let me know if you learned something new in karate, and through your comments and through your likes. Thank you all. Till then, bye.